If you're a man over 60, let me ask you something simple. How many times do you wake up at night to use the bathroom? Once, twice, maybe even 3 or 4 times. Most seniors think this is just part of aging. But the truth is, in many cases, it's actually being made worse by one common evening habit. And it has nothing to do with your bladder being weak or your prostate suddenly doubling in size overnight. The real problem could be hiding in your glass. That's right. What you drink after 7 p.m. may be silently irritating your prostate and bladder, forcing you out of bed again and again. Doctors rarely explain this clearly, but for men over 60, late-night drinking can inflame the prostate, weaken bladder control, and disrupt the deep, healing sleep your body desperately needs. In today's video, I'm going to reveal the drinks you should never touch after 7 p.m., and the healthier alternatives you can safely enjoy instead. Stay tuned, because once you know these hidden triggers, you'll be able to protect your prostate, sleep through the night, and finally wake up feeling rested again. Now, before we dive into the specific drinks you should avoid, let's understand why this matters so much after age 60. Your prostate is a small gland about the size of a walnut, sitting just below the bladder. As men get older, the prostate naturally tends to enlarge. This condition, called benign prostatic hyperplasia, or BPH, affects more than 60% of men in their 60s and nearly 80% of men in their 70s. Here's the problem. When the prostate grows, it starts pressing against the urethra, the tube that carries urine out of the body. This makes it harder for the bladder to empty fully. That's why so many seniors feel like they just went, yet the urge to urinate comes right back. Now imagine adding a drink at night that irritates the bladder lining, increases urine production, or even stimulates the prostate itself. Suddenly, a slightly enlarged prostate turns into a nightly battle, rushing to the bathroom, struggling with weak flow, and lying awake afterwards, unable to fall back asleep. This cycle doesn't just ruin your nights. It raises blood pressure, weakens your immune system, and even increases your risk of falls, since many seniors stumble in the dark trying to get to the bathroom. That's why doctors like me warn. It's not just what you drink, but when you drink it. After 7 p.m., certain beverages are simply too risky for men over 60 who want to protect their prostate and their sleep. If I had to choose just one drink that men over 60 should never touch at night, it would be this: alcohol. Now you might be thinking, "Doctor, I only have a small glass of wine," or "It's just one beer with dinner." But here's what most men don't realize. Even small amounts of alcohol late in the evening can wreak havoc on your prostate and bladder. Here's why. Alcohol is a diuretic. That means it makes your body produce more urine. So even if your bladder was already struggling to empty because of an enlarged prostate, alcohol forces it to work overtime. The result? More trips to the bathroom, weaker flow, and that awful feeling of never being done. Alcohol irritates the bladder lining. This irritation makes the urge to urinate stronger and more frequent, even if the bladder isn't full. For seniors, this means waking up multiple times at night, often with urgency that can't be ignored. Alcohol affects prostate tissue. Studies suggest that alcohol can actually contribute to inflammation around the prostate, making symptoms like urgency, dribbling, and poor stream worse. And here's something most men don't realize. Alcohol also disrupts sleep patterns. Even if you do fall back asleep after a bathroom trip, your body stays in lighter stages of sleep, leaving you groggy, irritable, and fatigued the next day. So while a glass of wine might feel relaxing in the evening, for your prostate and your bladder, it's one of the worst choices you can make after sunset. That's why urologists like myself often tell patients, if you must drink, do it earlier in the day, and never within 3 to 4 hours of bedtime. Now, if alcohol is the obvious villain, this next one is the silent partner in crime: caffeinated drinks. Coffee, tea, cola, even that innocent cup of green tea. All of these can spell trouble for your prostate when consumed in the evening. Here's why. Caffeine stimulates the bladder. It acts almost like a chemical irritant, forcing the bladder muscles to contract more frequently. This means more urgency and more trips to the bathroom. It's also a mild diuretic. Just like alcohol, caffeine pulls extra water into the urine, increasing nighttime output. If your prostate is already narrowing the urinary passage, caffeine magnifies the problem. It raises blood pressure and heart rate. For seniors, this makes it harder for the body to fully relax at night, and it indirectly contributes to restlessness. Many men tell me, "But doctor, I only drink decaf." Here's the surprise. Even decaffeinated coffee and tea still contain small amounts of caffeine and bladder-irritating acids that can trigger symptoms. The result: restless nights, weaker bladder control, and more frequent urination. And over time, this constant strain can even worsen prostate inflammation. The rule of thumb I give my patients is simple. Keep your last caffeinated drink at least 6 to 8 hours before bedtime. That way, your body has time to process it and you're not punishing your bladder at night. So, while that evening cup of tea may seem comforting, for men over 60 with prostate concerns, it's quietly stealing your sleep. This next drink surprises many men, because it's something we're often told is good for us. I'm talking about fruit juices at night. Orange juice, apple juice, cranberry juice, even fresh squeezed. On the surface, these drinks seem like a healthy choice. But when consumed in the evening, they can quietly aggravate your bladder and prostate. Here's the problem: high natural sugar content. Fruit juices are loaded with fructose, which spikes blood sugar levels. At night, this sugar surge can make the kidneys filter more fluid into the bladder, leading to extra urine production. Acidic nature. Citrus juices like orange or grapefruit juice are especially acidic. This acidity irritates the bladder lining, amplifying urgency and frequency. Exactly what men with an enlarged prostate don't need before bedtime. False health halo. Many men switch from soda to juice thinking it's better. But at night, your bladder doesn't care whether the sugar is natural or artificial. The effect is still more trips to the bathroom. I've seen patients who thought a nightly glass of juice was helping them, when in reality, it was fueling their midnight awakenings. After cutting out late-night juice, many report sleeping through the night for the first time in years. So my advice is, enjoy your fruit juices earlier in the day, but never within 3 hours of bedtime. If you want something sweet at night, opt for a small piece of whole fruit instead. The fiber slows down sugar absorption and is much gentler on the bladder. By now, you've seen how certain drinks can silently make prostate problems worse at night. But let's end on a positive note, with what does help. One of the most powerful allies for prostate health is pomegranate juice. Unlike alcohol, caffeine, or acidic juices, pomegranate is packed with antioxidants that directly benefit both the prostate and the bladder. Here's why it works so well. Reduces prostate inflammation. Pomegranates contain compounds called polyphenol, which fight inflammation in the prostate tissue. Less inflammation means less pressure on the urinary tract and easier nighttime flow. Supports better circulation. Good blood flow isn't just vital for the heart, it also keeps the prostate nourished and functioning properly. Protects against prostate cell damage. Studies suggest pomegranate may slow down harmful changes in prostate cells that can lead to long-term issues. But here's the real secret. Pomegranate works best when combined with other prostate-friendly foods. Tomatoes, rich in lycopene, another powerful antioxidant for prostate protection. Pumpkin seeds, high in zinc, which supports healthy hormone balance and prostate size. Green vegetables like broccoli or kale, full of sulforaphane, a compound linked to lower prostate cancer risk. When men over 60 make pomegranate juice part of their daily diet, not at night but earlier in the day, alongside these foods, they often report not only better urinary flow, but also more energy, clearer thinking, and deeper sleep. So instead of focusing only on what you shouldn't drink at night, think about what you can add during the day. Building a prostate-friendly plate pays off for your nights as well as your long-term health. We've covered a lot today, so let's bring it all together. For men over 60, nighttime urination can feel like an unavoidable part of aging. But the truth is, what you drink in the evening plays a major role in whether you sleep soundly or spend the night running to the bathroom. Here's the recap. Alcohol may feel relaxing, but it's a diuretic and bladder irritant that inflames the prostate and wrecks sleep. Caffeinated drinks like coffee, tea, or cola overstimulate the bladder and keep you restless. Fruit juices at night, even healthy ones, flood the bladder with sugar and acid, leading to irritation and more urgency. And even plain water, when taken in large amounts late at night, can overload the bladder and push you out of bed multiple times. On the other hand, pomegranate juice stands out as a powerful prostate-friendly option when enjoyed during the day. Combined with foods like tomatoes, pumpkin seeds, and green vegetables, it supports long-term prostate health and reduces inflammation that makes nighttime symptoms worse. So what can you do starting tonight? White heavy checkmark: cut off alcohol and caffeine at least 6 to 8 hours before bed. White heavy checkmark: avoid juices and heavy fluids within 3 hours of bedtime. White heavy checkmark: if you're thirsty, take just small sips of water in the evening. White heavy checkmark: and during the day, nourish your prostate with pomegranate, tomatoes, seeds, and greens. Remember, healthy choices during the day set the stage for peaceful nights. This is how you protect your prostate, reduce nighttime bathroom trips, and reclaim the deep, uninterrupted sleep your body deserves. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone you care about. Your health is in your hands, and small changes really do make a big difference.